Hi, Ray Hayden here, and this video is going to be a follow-up to the unboxing-ish video of the Moto E4 phone. This one here is going to touch on the specs and what I've been doing with the camera and this experimental video that I'm making right here with the Moto E4 camera. Now, first off, it has a 5-inch screen as opposed to my ZTE Axon 7, which has a 5.5-inch screen, and it's pretty heavy, actually, because I guess what's in there. But it's a 5-inch screen, has what they call a splash proof coating. I imagine that's for some kind of waterproofing-ish, like any phone's waterproof, right? Anyways, but the screen does indeed have some kind of a coating on it. Your finger slides across it very easily. It's a very nice feel to it, and you know, that's kind of, I like it the way it is. Now it says it has a quad-core processor, but it is like a 1.3 gigahertz quad-core processor, so it's not like the best and the brightest of processing units. But just as long as it gets the job done, really, that's all I care about. Also, keeping in mind that the main purpose for this phone is to be a telephone, because AT&T does not get service in this on our property. On our property, we don't get service. Now, my ZTE Axon 7, I did get a signal if I sat on the front porch. But then it was kind of iffy. I tried to make a phone call to a client, or a client called me and I called her back, and we were talking for a while, and the signal kept going in and out. So it was really iffy. It was kind of a cloudy day, so I guess unless the sun is shining and it's nice and bright and clear, I'm not going to get a clear signal from AT&T. So we went and we checked out Verizon. I'll make a standalone video about that experience. And then we ended up going to Sprint. And with the Sprint, we got the Moto E4, which was a free and no charge to us thing. As long as we maintain the contract, we don't have to pay for the phone. And the contract is at a lower price than what we had been paying with AT&T, so it's kind of a win-win for us. And on top of that, I can still use my ZTE Axon 7 to shoot video with, and everything else is going to work just fine with that. Also, if I wanted to use the ZTE Axon 7 for its processor and all that kind of thing, I can make this phone a hotspot and then link the two phones together and then use the processing capability of the ZTE Axon 7 with this phone if I wanted to browse the internet or do anything else like that. The other thing is the cameras on this. The main camera on the back is an 8 megapixel camera, which is kind of the front-facing camera on the ZTE Axon 7, and the front-facing camera on the Moto E4 is a 5 megapixel camera. Now on both of those resolutions, I lose a little bit by the settings in the Moto E4 by changing it to the 16:9 widescreen and other things that I wanted to do visually with the camera. The megapixel rate drops a little bit, but I'll see how the videos look. If they look okay, they're fine. Again, the most important thing to somebody who wants to shoot video is if you have to have a video recording camera with you at the time you want to make a video, and the best camera is the one you have with you in your pocket. So our phones should be with us all the time anyway for communication purposes, so that camera is going to be the best camera that you have for any particular purpose. The other thing I want to discuss is the fact that I did go to the Google Play Store. I did download Open Camera software, and I tried to really experiment by going hardcore with this video with the settings in Open Camera software. So it records a larger video file. It's recording a 20 megabit per second. It's recording the 16:9. I put the grid on there, the 4:3 aspect ratio. It's called the rule of thirds, if you're familiar with that. I put that on there, and I can see that it's just ticking away on the available memory on the card. So with this camera, what I have to do is shoot the video, immediately download it off of the camera, and then clean up, delete the videos and free up that space. Now, one of the really most important things about this camera, though, is it only comes with the 16 gigabytes internal storage. But for shooting video, what I really want to do is record like I did in my professional video cameras off the camera. I didn't record anything on the camera. I recorded it off to a digital recording drive. Now with these micro SD cards, which didn't exist at the time when I was shooting video with that particular camera, we can put a micro SD XC card in our phone. This phone, even though it's a free phone, has the micro SD slot in it. So I can go ahead and install a really good card. It's like either 200 and something, 256 gigabytes or something like that. And we can put that card in this phone. It's like rated for that much. And I can go ahead and get that micro SD card, which I will acquire, and then do some tests with that, and I'll upload those down the road. So with that, this is an experimental video in the fact that I'm using the Moto E4 cell phone to record this video with. The main mission of this particular device for me is to be a cell phone only, and to shoot video. My main go-to camera is going to be the ZTE Axon 7 because it works fantastic. However, I will do experimental videos with this. The reason for that primarily is because it was a no-cost phone. So I went to the Sprint network, my wife and I, misdemeanor, went down there and we picked up these free phones with our contract. Actually, it's not a contract, it's a no contract thing, but if we keep the service for 18 months, we never have to pay anything for these phones. If we cut our contract, because there is no contract, if we cut our service sooner, then we do have to pay for the phones. That's the way they kind of do it there with the free phones. But with that, if this thing works out great, I'll be highly impressed. But I'll make a couple more videos with this. I'll also be using the ZTE Axon 7 and other things like that. Another thing I really loved about this, and I mentioned it before, is it has a removable battery. That's something I haven't seen in a cell phone in a long time. But the removable battery is something that I like because you can acquire another battery if this one here gets low on you or doesn't really hold the charge anymore or something like that. As batteries age, they kind of lose capability. But to be able to buy a new battery is something that I find quite desirable. And I would like to see more phones get back to that policy of having a removable, replaceable battery so that we don't go through the things that Apple went through where they were playing with the phones and changing, capacity or whatever of the batteries or the phone's capability, shall we say. Anyway, so with that, let's wrap this video up. And until I catch you in the next one, take care and be well.